Yes, Airbnb. This is pretty much what everyone talks about when you talk about short-term rentals or trying to start being like a small landlord or just pretty much like renting like a room out. Airbnb is extremely lucrative. I mean, I'm all down for short-term rentals. I'll much rather get an Airbnb property than do a long-term rental because you just simply make more money, right? That's just how things are. But now the tables are turning, not just for massive cities like New York City, but even for like vacation towns you've never even heard of. Oversaturation, too many people doing Airbnbs, and like always, when there's too many people doing something, it just doesn't become profitable. Like in the beginning, few years of Airbnb, especially before the pandemic, it was super profitable, right? I mean, short-term rentals were like the thing. You were making like between $25 to like $65,000 a year from short-term rentals. Everyone's like, screw long-term rentals. Short-term rentals, the best. But now, if you look at situations like these, which is happening everywhere in the US, a town that has become one giant Airbnb is now facing a massive downfall. Rise and fall, essentially what it is. So if you look at this, you do have this vacation town in Oklahoma. You know, at first, they only have like 400 Airbnbs, 200 Airbnbs. Really not that many people, right? But now you have 2,400 Airbnbs in this vacation location. So it's like a 6x. So before the pandemic, 400 Airbnbs, now 2,400. It's blowing through the roof, right? This town just has a bunch of Airbnbs, and construction is like, sure, we'll just build a bunch of these cabins, a bunch of these houses in the best scenery possible, and then sell it to like the people who want to make it into the Airbnb. Like the construction companies are making bank. They're building these houses like crazy, and they're enjoying it, and they're selling it, right? The influx of travelers for the city is a massive tax revenue. But here's the thing. This city, yes, it's getting people coming in for vacations, but 6x the amount compared to pre-pandemic? I don't think so. In fact, many vacation towns, yes, they went up after the pandemic, but they eventually died down, right? At first, you know, when the whole pandemic thing was somewhat lifted, everyone just went for vacations and everyone started getting Airbnbs because they think vacation rises will continue forever. But surprise, surprise, many pandemic boom towns that used to be very good are now dying off. So property prices are dropping like a rock, like Austin, Las Vegas, for example. And then you got like big vacation locations like these, they're also slowly dropping. You're seeing these stories everywhere. Like you also have this right here, right? Airbnb hosting just isn't what it used to be. And you also have big crackdowns from big cities that are just pretty much making Airbnbs implode. And like I said, if you want to buy a cheap property for yourself, trying to snag one of these Airbnb foreclosures is probably the best thing. Now, this isn't a bad location, right? So you do have a couple who bought a townhouse in a gated community with resort access for $300,000. I think they bought it like a couple years ago before like prices just went through the roof. So they got this. It's just south of Orlando. It's 10-minute drive from Disney World. So these properties are going to be properties that consistently make you money because of the close proximity to a major vacation destination, which in this case is Disney World. And also you're in Orlando, and it's a pretty nice house overall. Look at this, like even got like a pickle court. Senior looks pretty good. I mean, nice, quiet, suburban vibes, gated community, resort. You even have like, I think, what is that? Like a little pool, hot tub, whatever. It's a very, very good property. Like I have nothing bad to say about it. But it's just so much competition. So many people are doing Airbnbs that even good properties like these are not making any money, right? There's so much competition. I think people just over leverage on Airbnbs. This happens everywhere, right? When there's something profitable, everyone just does it. And when everyone does it, it's no longer profitable anymore. You know, then you also have like fat crackdowns like these. And New York City is just the beginning. Now you got cities like Seattle, San Francisco. They're all thinking the same thing. Maybe we should crack down some Airbnbs. Airbnb listings in New York City plunged 77% after a city crackdown. You guys don't know what's happening in the Airbnb industry for New York, or I guess New York City, not the whole state. So New York City implemented back a couple months ago, they said that you could only do Airbnb if your unit doesn't go up more than 2 people, which is barely anyone. So you can't have like a group of people, only 2 guests allowed. And you actually have to stay in the place. So the host has to stay in the house that they're renting out. That's like terrible. People used to have like 2-3 properties in New York City. It was super profitable, right? And now every single property you see in New York City they all have like the host living in like the building. So if you want to have like 6, 7 people going to Manhattan for like a vacation and rent out a penthouse, well, good luck. You can't do that anymore. You have to rent a hotel. So basically, the Airbnb situation in New York City just completely collapsed. Like super high-end properties in New York City are gone. Now you just have like a bunch of these like little townhouses and little rooms, which they all look like this. And no way can these compete with like big hotel chains like Hyatt, even like Trump Hotel, the Ritz-Carlton. Like in the beginning, people were just renting penthouses. Now, no more penthouses. You're going to have to rent a hotel if you want anything like super duper nice. So Airbnb crackdowns absolutely made the situation in New York City implode. Now you have a bunch of people in New York. They want to sell their Airbnb listings. They can't. They literally can't. Nobody wants these. Look at how many units are on the market, and so many of these units are super expensive. Like, guess what? Properties like, for example, these, the ultra expensive ones, these used to be Airbnb rentals, right? And they made a lot of money. Like, rich people did rent these for like a week or so, but now, no more, right? Unless the host lives there, which I doubt that's going to happen. So yeah, New York City basically gave the middle finger to Airbnb. And you also have like in Victoria. This is in Canada. This is British Columbia. This is a pretty nice little town. Very, very beautiful. And same exact things happening, not just in the US, but in Canada as well. In Victoria, former Airbnbs are flooding the market, but nobody is buying them, right? If you look at this, dozens of former short-term rentals or Airbnbs have gone up for sale since the ban was announced in October, and not one has sold. That's some freaky stuff, right? This isn't normal at all because generally units do sell, but when you have a bunch of secondhand homes, new construction, and now Airbnbs are flooding in, kiss your revenues goodbye. You also have this, the money for Airbnbs are just dropping. It's no longer profitable. Even if your unit is renting like a decent amount of nights per week, you're just not charging the same amount as before. Data is showing that a lot of cities, like for example, Panama City, Myrtle Beach, even Vegas, you're seeing 30 to 50% declines in revenues. So you have people who took out fat loans and they have a high interest right now. They're paying crazy high interest. HOA is up if they bought it in the HOA area. Property tax, don't even get me started, is crazy high. And home insurance is also going up, especially in some of the coastal cities, which many Airbnbs do reside. So you have all these different factors, and guess what? It's no longer profitable anymore. A lot of these units are going on the market. A lot of these units are imploding. And not to mention, who's going on vacation when no one's got a job, right? If you guys don't know what's going on, unemployment's hitting 3.9%. It used to be 3.3. It used to be okay, but now some of like the six-figure jobs are getting laid off. Many jobs are being laid off, especially high-paying jobs. So when these high-paying jobs are gone, no one's going to go rent your $200, $300 a night Airbnb anymore. Not to mention an oversupply. This is a very shocked market. I think this is really what happens when you have 0% interest rates. People just go wild. You know what this reminds me of? 08. 08, same exact thing. People just bought a bunch of houses, a bunch of cars, a bunch of things they can't afford. Same thing during the pandemic. People just really want to take advantage of the 0% interest rates. In fact, back in the old days, if you didn't buy a house in 0% interest rates, people thought you were crazy. But now, people who didn't over leverage during 0% interest rates, they're actually doing pretty well financially. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.